They do have some fan service moments for some reason. They throw in there sometimes, which kind of like is a little.
Does one have big boobs?
Well, she has a big ass, and apparently they have to. But I don't need. What is this?
The
here?
camera's down below.
The camera's somewhere for some reason.
They're not looking at the minerals.
Yeah, you go like.
They're looking at the other valuable assets on screen.
Is there ever a reason?
People are horny. That's why.
Well, they want to keep the people interested in the middle because you can't get.
Guess they fall asleep. Ooh, ass.
Yeah.
What's up, people? Welcome to our living traveling podcast shack we call Taco Otaku, where we serve up the hottest takes in anime and video games. I'm your host this morning, afternoon, evening, wherever time it might be for you, Ray, aka Sourdough Shonen. And today, it is the summer heat heating up here because it's finally time for our Anime Summer Preview 2025 edition. And in this episode of the podcast, we'll be covering 9 different shows. 3 for each of the hosts, and out of each host gets one real chosen one that'll get a full review later on in the Taco Otaku history. But before we get to our full reviews and even our previews, I first must introduce the rest of the cast today. And to my left is Frank. Hello, Frank. How are you doing, sir?
Hi.
Took you by surprise there, Frank?
I was surprised you were going to ask me a question. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Just okay? Every time I feel like you're always just a little okay. What do I have to do to get you better than okay, Frank? 5-star pool?
$5 million?
$5 million? Wow. That's,
why $5 million?
What are you going to do with those $5 million?
I'm going to put it into the S&P 500 and live off of the dividends.
Okay, that's a plan.
It's a plan.
That's and I've heard worse things people would do with $5 million. So I'll let that sit right there.
That's like $3,000 a month.
He's done the math.
That's about how much I'll need.
There's more questions I want to ask, but just for the sake of the podcast, in the introduction section of the podcast, we'll move along and introduce my brother Miles. Hello, Miles. Do you have any plans for $5 million?
Gacha pulls probably.
Yeah, no, that checks out. That's if you're a long-time listener, subscribe to the podcast. That checks out. The history matches up.
Especially when you lose the 50-50. Yeah, that's.
How do you lose a 50-50?
Simple. You don't get the character you want. You get someone else. That's how you play the game.
Sounds like a skill issue, bro.
Yeah, you're right. It is.
So yes, that's what you gotta look forward to. Financial plans in the future, and to throw those financial plans right away for your video game addiction.
But I'm happy though.
Are you, brother? Are you?
I'm content.
That's the best answer we're probably gonna get out of that one. So let that be here. All right. Well, with that, I guess look forward to what else we've been doing, catching up here, because it's time for the podcast where we see what everyone's been up to since our last episode of the podcast, what they've been watching and playing. Hopefully some good recommendations, and maybe some things to just stay the hell away. So, either one is good information that will help you guys out there. So let's, I'll do the good old-fashioned reverse Uno card. Miles, why don't you get a start off? What's new with you?
So I finished a 2.1 ZZZ patch, which I guess is a summer theme. So summer, so there's bikinis, there's fishing, bamboo, all the cool things.
Bamboo?
Yeah, the main they're like little robot guys there in the world.
Of course. How did I know this?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I did enjoy the 2 new characters. So Yuusha and Alice. They're pretty fun together. They do riff each other pretty well. They have good camaraderie. That's the word.
They talk again in this one?
Yeah, they talk.
I thought they didn't talk.
No, they do. I did made this switch to Japanese, I guess.
Oh, that's what does it.
Yeah, so then I just get more nuance because the Japanese language, you nuance about certain characters are, so you kind of get away how they use like certain phrases, things like that. Like you enjoy the fact that Yuusha does speak in the third person.
Oh, Jimmy remembers.
And apparently Alice likes everything very symmetrical, a character trait, I guess.
A Soul Eater fan, perhaps?
Yeah, that's what they got. And of course, here we go. And there's all the depth of kids. It's like, there we go. Yeah, it was very fun. I did enjoy a lot of things. They did like a shooting gallery and a couple other little like summer things to enjoy the summer. I did miss out on my first 50-50 pull, so there's
that checks out.
That also checks out.
I'm sorry, man. I know.
Yeah, I know. Take the see. Frank gets me. Frank's like, yeah.
Are you okay? Are you gonna be able to finish the podcast?
I don't know.
You might have to take. If you need, we'll pause just for you, Miles.
I have to think about it.
As he finds his wallet to open it up again.
I did got guaranteed though, so there's that going for me.
Mhm.
So you spend more money. See, right? You spend more money, then you get the gear you want, even though it costs you a little arm and a leg. It's okay. I got my bonus check coming from the summer. It's fine. Yeah. Other than that, I want to try the horse game out there, Umamusume, because that's like the hot thing right now.
It is the happening thing.
The horse game?
There's a horse girl gotcha game, and it's making its rounds right now on the internet.
It is probably. It's been very hot recently.
You get to? Is there jockeys or is
No,
Oh.
no, it's not that one. Not yet. One day, Frank, we'll get there.
Frank's looking too much into the doges and things like that down on the internet right now. I
I'm
guess.
just trying. I'm asking for a friend.
I was gonna say, beat me to it.
I'm not saying.
It's not for me, but I'm just saying.
So what's the name of this again?
Yeah.
Write it down.
Spell it properly.
Can you spell it? Can you spell that out exactly? Slow down when you do it.
How many waifus do you have?
Too many. Too many.
Not enough. Yeah, but I didn't get a chance to go that this week because I was trying to learn how to do video, but that's a whole different thing we won't get into. And I guess that kind of concludes my, other than the homework stuff, of course, that we did for the podcast.
Right. All right. Well, then if that's it. Then we'll pass the baton over to Frank. Frank, what's new with you?
Get my notes out.
Oh no, he's been a busy boy.
Well, I've been loosely. I use it off work.
Slow season for you, perhaps.
It's the time of year where they close the factory, and then so we have 2 weeks off. Normally I go on vacation, but I stayed home this time.
Saving up that $5 million.
Saving up to the $5 million. You know, I was actually doing the math, and it's $5,000 a month. So it's probably too much. I think I can make it with 2.5 million.
Too much.
Not for Miles in his pulls though.
That's too much. You know, that's I'd pay too much money, says Frank.
Maybe 1 million is fine too.
There you go.
Yeah.
You don't need to wait forever.
Why be greedy?
Exactly.
I just need food and
Shelter.
McDonald's value menu is still good to this day.
Right. Oh, anyways, back to the week. Well, of course, I play Maple.
Of course you did.
As I watch stuff.
Second screen and second monitor and all that.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of My Hero Academia.
Oh, okay.
Finished that. The anime. Only.
Caught up on the anime.
Really liking it.
There you go.
Ivan must be like tearing his hair out. But
He's not a fan. We all know this from previous episodes. He's not a fan.
And I kept telling him stuff like, yeah, it was like they just had some cool moments, and like when that one person cuts off their leg. I want to ruin it for those that. And he was like, "That happened." I'm like, "You're forgetting these
cool stuff. You're forgetting the good stuff."
The whole he keeps calling the Batman arc. It was fine. I think I might have mentioned it last time where I feel like he thinks of these scenarios he wants to happen, but he doesn't think of a good reason for them to happen. And then
referring to the mangaka.
Yeah, the guy,
the creator.
Because I think we were talking about this with Squid Games, where the guy hates the guy that didn't break the ammo. And I'm like, okay, not cool that he kind of chickened out, but like, do you expect everyone to be a hero? Like,
right? Yeah, statistically.
Is it enough? Is it enough to want to kill somebody over this? I'm like, okay, it's not everybody fight or flight. It's the reason they have that. And then My Hero, Endeavor has a crappy family. Is it a reason to hate all heroes now? Like, why are we against heroes suddenly? Like, it was working.
Right.
You guys have a very fragile.
It doesn't take much
loyalty here. So that's just, besides that, I'm like, okay, it's actually kind of cool to see these things happen now. Dumb reason, but
right.
So I'm just enjoying the fights and like stuff like that.
Pretty good. We even had a full dedicated episode. If people are curious to hear more about My Hero on the podcast, just go to the website taco-otaku.com.
What else? I also finished Spy Family. I had already finished it, but I had not watched the movie.
Oh, okay.
Pretty good.
Is that on Crunchyroll?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I haven't seen the movie yet.
Yeah, it's like the last episode.
Oh, it's hidden?
It's in the...
Oh, yeah, they do that at Crunchyroll. It drives me insane.
Yeah, season 54.
Yeah, of like Demon Slayer. What was it we saw?
Oh, Guys or 59 or whatever. Like, what?
They're labeled sometimes randomly depending on what streaming platform you use to get to Crunchyroll, I guess.
Yeah, so it's it's more of the same. Like, if you like the show, you're gonna like the movie. I mean, yeah, you're gonna like the movie.
Makes sense.
The ending, I feel like they wasted a a lot of money on that animation.
Oh wow.
It's very nice. They had a
Ooh.
whole like she's running towards the bad guy, and then the camera goes 360, and it's really cool.
Ooh.
So I'm like, oh my,
All
let me
right.
put Maple down.
Wait a sec. Let me put this on the big screen.
Yeah, I mean it was on the TV. It was just it was like wait.
Pause.
Pause. Put the controller down.
Grinding can wait. So yeah, I enjoyed the Spy Family movie.
I'm gonna add that.
I also finished season 2 of Apothecary Diaries.
Okay.
It's a good
Still
soap,
good?
it's a good soap opera.
Because I know you liked the first one
I liked the
season good amount.
It kind of like the first season kind of starts a little slower and then kind of picks up. I don't know if I mentioned it before. I have the problem with this show where I get confused of who's who.
Oh, a lot of
They-
characters.
Not that, and also a lot of them look the same. Like all the ladies,
They got the same anime face.
the same colors, because they're from the same house or something.
Well, right.
Oh,
right.
the One Piece problem.
Yeah, it's worse because these literally look very identical. Plus, I feel like the names are very similar.
Oh yeah, that's the
So,
thing.
and then they're Chinese. So,
They sound very
who's Xiao Feng, Xiao Fong?
Right.
It's like I'm butchering it, but so it's very confusing to me.
right.
I barely remember the main character's name,
Mhm.
but other than that, I'm enjoying it a lot because it's just I don't know. They do a good enough job to like put things into. I don't know if you ever watch soap operas.
Passing by when my grandparents are watching.
you like-
Telenovelas, you mean?
Telenovelas.
For those who don't know,
If you like telenovelas, this is
Well,
the show for you.
we saw Rumbly Hearts. That's in telenovela.
I mean, it's pretty damn close to if it's. Yeah, no, that is. I'm trying my best to be like, that's not true. I'm like, no, it actually just straight up is.
Yeah, because it's like what? Who tried to kill who?
Yeah.
it's
Who's back from the dead, taking revenge?
Yeah. So I mean, I enjoyed the ending better than because season 1 had a pretty nice ending, but this one I like it better because it was just nice. It was nice. They had the nice music. It was the revelations were good enough. So it was good. It was good. I feel like they progressed with the relationship statuses. Everything's on pace. I don't know how long, because if they do like 5 seasons, I'll probably get tired. So
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So as long as they could do 5, but as long as it's looking like it's near the end, I wouldn't do more than 4.
I was gonna say, what would be your recommendation at the moment, knowing where it's going?
Yeah, because what else is there to reveal? Because I feel like we already know everything.
Fair
So I don't
enough.
know. Maybe I'm wrong, but
Revelations.
as long as they don't keep us like teasing, and it's just like, oh, we're gonna say this, but no, sorry, we get interrupted.
Where's that samurai that smells like sunflower seeds?
We'll find him somewhere around here.
He's somewhere around here.
So that's solid second season. I also started watching Fire Force.
Or you started from the beginning, like you.
I started from the beginning. I've seen it already, but I wanted to recap.
Okay.
So I started from the beginning, and I'm almost done with season 1. I'm enjoying it better this time around because I already know the parts I don't like about it, and I'm like, okay, fine.
Right, you could just.
And I'm just focusing on the story, focusing on and paying a little more attention to some details. So it's good. That one's always like, I wouldn't say a must watch, but I do like how they animate it.
It is pretty looking for sure.
So that's cool. And then Maple, of course. Won't get too much into it. Just progressing, working on
Always progressing.
always working on something.
He's cooking.
I'm always training. I'm like Ryu. It's just
Gonna walk in with the big beard.
I should be working on my body instead of, video games. But
The reflexes.
Reflexes.
Yeah, that keyboard's pretty far sometimes. You have to really stretch for it.
I'm really struggling right now. I should be training right now with my hands and speaking, but
You're too busy just talking and not making clicky noises with the keyboard.
You
Right.
know, wear like those weights that Goku wears, like the weights in his hands and stuff, and he takes
There
it
you go.
off.
I should be like doing dumbbells right now.
With the video podcast, he's doing it. You just see Frank lifting weights the whole time. So that's what he does.
What's he training for? Video games. For Maple later. What?
Yeah, for Maple.
And I'm not playing Bravely Default, but I am like I log in and I make my workers work on something else, and then I log out. But I finished, so now they're gonna be lazy now. There's nothing to work
Slackers.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about that. I wish. I'll get back to it at some point. I'm pretty much done.
You can hear Frank's face. He's like, yeah, that's about it. Instead of that, it was a slow week for poor Frank.
Yeah, the energy just went out the room for that one.
There you
I
go.
mean, not to bring people down, but I busy because I was like in a hospital.
Oh.
So it could have been better.
No, that would make sense. That would
Yeah. So
that would slow you down a little bit. All right, it sounds like it leaves up to me what I got for my week. And sadly, not a ton of stuff. I guess the one thing, the most time thing I guess watched and or did between here and last episode, something also me and Miles did together, was that we watched the Ironheart show that's over on Disney Plus, which is, more MCU nonsense, and it's about I forget, of course, I don't remember characters' names, especially this one.
Riri
That's
Williams.
right. Yes, who is the not Tony Stark of the
Hey, she definitely is not.
MCU universe.
She definitely is not.
And yeah, well, I mean, what else am I going to tell you? MCU has been not great for a while. Fantastic Four just came out, so who knows? Maybe next podcast, I'm sure there's a good chance we might bring up that movie, and maybe it'll bring it back. I heard good things about the Thunderbolts too, so maybe that's another one that'll sway my opinion. But yeah, this Ironheart, it's meh. It's just a big bowl of meh to just bad. The more you think about this character and her situation,
and making bad decisions.
Yeah,
more bad decisions.
And the other thing, it's like I feel sad part is I keep saying this with like Disney productions of like, oh, it's all woke bullshit crap, this and that, woo woo hoo mihi minority something something, and sadly you kind of get that here because she's like, characters in their own stories can't, they can be false narrators and kind of paint a certain picture despite clearly there's no evidence to support that theory. But it's times in that show I'm like, I think it feels like the writers are the ones tricking themselves that like there's nothing wrong here.
No, she's a good character, guys.
It's because of these reasons. It's the reason she just can't catch a break. It's because she's a woman. It's because she's black. It's because she's poor. All these things. And Tony Stark was white and rich and all these opposite things, right? But like the more you watch the show, it's like, well, no, she keeps making every terrible choice she could possibly make in a situation.
Like stealing, a lot of.
She's making shortcuts, and it's costing her, and she's surprised, how come I'm getting caught with my hand in the cookie jar? We keep going back to the cookie jar. What do you expect is going to happen? So that's the thing, without getting into too many details about the whole show. It's like, it's not the worst, but that they really try to hammer that on early on, and I'm constantly just talking back to the TV going, I'm sorry, what? So it was a little frustrating to watch. I'm trying to think like redeeming qualities about it. They brought back Iron Man 1 story content without getting to the details, which I guess is cool, since we haven't touched on Iron Man 1 in a minute.
Yeah, but like for like a brief minute.
Yeah, it's a very small thing. It's only, I think, 6 episodes, I think. Oh, and there is I will say this to, I guess, people, to watch the thing. They finally reveal a character I feel like they've been teasing for several movies and TV shows at this point. Someone does finally show up in the MCU finally, so if you've been waiting for that character, without once again saying it out loud, they're here. So if you are determined to see it, they're here. But the other thing that I've really been working on for the last few weeks now, I guess, and I kind of think I teased it last time on the podcast, and now it's officially out, so I could talk about it a little bit more, is the last few weeks I've been working on redesigning the podcast artworks and technically the title of the podcast to hopefully help us be a little bit more searchable on the Googles, the SEOs, I think is the word. And still Taco Otaku, but I had the little surname of SoCal's Anime Podcast, because if you don't put Anime Podcast in the title of and when you type in Anime Podcast in Apple Podcasts or any other podcast listener app, the odds of us getting picked up are not very high, as I slowly started to realize doing my research. So I did include that in our title, so it's nice and easy. And of course, since we're out here in Southern California, it only makes sense to rep our little corner of the world. So that's why I came up with that name, just to a little stand us out. And maybe you noticed this if you've been a subscriber of the podcast down in your podcast app. We have a cute little new anime mascot girl. We made that change that way. And once again, people pass by, you can see and be like, oh, it's an anime podcast because here's a cute little anime girl.
And Ellie represent?
So yes, and so that was all me. It's I'm not. It's not the world's amazing.
This is funny. I'm just saying this is all me. This is all I doing.
The thing I'm just trying to say is like, yeah, it's not the most professional looking artwork because it was done by not a professional artist and never really. I dabbled in art many moons ago, and it's been many moons almost since then since I really dabbled in it. But I try to dust off the pencils and the illustrators and the Photoshops and made up the new artwork. So don't change the dial. That's us. Even on
taco truck.
No taco truck. No more food stand. So I might even come with the next thing. But so we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's still us. So that's what I've been working on from pencil to digital artwork. It was interesting to flex those muscles again, I guess. And the last thing of note, and I literally just did it only a few hours before we hit the record on this very podcast episode, is apparently I beat Miles to the punch, and I actually did check out was it Umamusume?
Yeah.
Umamusume?
Umamusume. Horse.
Umamusume.
I mean, it's
not Uma Thurman. Umamusume, right?
Yeah.
Darn, we can't dance with Tron Travolta with our footsies. What a shame.
Tarantino will be upset.
Yeah, indeed. But yeah, I decided to check it out because I was mentioned earlier. Everywhere I've been going on YouTube and Twitch, they all been putting out videos and content about it. So it's like, I guess this must be something. And for those who don't know, first time checking out the podcast, thanks for like and subscribe. But also, I don't play gacha games versus Frank and Miles here.
One of us.
So this is really my first time trying to give a gacha game a chance. And I've only played the first hour or so. And yeah, it's fine. I didn't hate it instantly, so that's always a good sign, I suppose. And the gameplay mechanic is so you are racing horses. They're anime girl horses that the only way you know they're horse girls is because they have little horse ears on top of their head, and bada bing done, right? And they're also idols. They sing and dance once you win races. So if you're an idols guy, we got you covered too.
Wait, check the box. Check the mouse box.
And so it really is. I mean, it's kind of a dating sim, but it's more of a time management thing because the gameplay loop is you do a race every so many days, and in so many those days you pick your favorite horse girl and you help level her stats and kind of train her and get her stats up, so when the day of the race comes, she's ready to win and gets first place. And obviously, you get first place, you get rewards and bonuses to keep pulling for new horse girls, get new support cards to go for your real horse girl stuff. And so I did finish my first little loop, and I did pick. If anyone's curious, I picked vodka.
Of course you did,
because there is also because the joke was there's no bourbon, so I picked vodka, but that's a lie because there is a bourbon something also horse. Apparently.
Well, it's amazing what names are out there for horses.
And if I understand correctly, apparently they're all based on real Japanese horse names.
They're all every horse does have a story like in the horse racing world.
Find the hidden story behind it if you're curious. So it's kind of neat to see that, and if you see the pictures of the real life horse, and then you can see they took inspirations of the horse and put in the character design. So it's kind of neat to see that. But yeah, that's the loop. And then in between, when you're leveling up stats to make her go faster or give her a little bit more strength or stamina, you'll meet another horse girl and have like little cutscenes and a conversation. Then you as the trainer, you chip in your 2 cents and pick a choice. And if you choose this, your points go up. Or if you choose that, some points might go down. So it's very much like I said, a management time thing going on. And you're just trying to keep getting the faster and faster horse. And I guess I must be decent at it because I did win. They give you a whole tutorial of how the whole thing works. But after that, I finally let you really, take over and take the reins. And then actually do it. And apparently, I'm a decent trainer because I at the last second I did come in first. I even do have a recording of it, so I might post it on our different social medias.
I might get used to this.
There you go. I did not hate the gameplay loop, and they do give you I think they give you 5 characters to start off with, and 2 of them are like decent characters. And I think if I'm understanding this right, because like I said, all this is brand new to, so maybe I'm just talking my ass.
Go ahead, ask us away.
But it looks like there's 5 stars possibility, but they're not available yet because right now it seems like all the guarantees I guess you guys talk about, it's only maxed at 3 stars, but I'm sure eventually at some point there'll be 5 stars to unlock.
Well, yeah, that's when they have that holiday outfit or some kind of special thing. It's like, well, you have to get it now because now it has is there because there has this way instead of that way, or no, it's a summertime or it's a wintertime.
What's it called again?
Umamusume.
Yeah, because ume means
I know. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't bought there's a party game we could play for the.
I'm looking it up right now.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Pretty Derby, I think, is the name.
Like I
title.
said, I even got the Goofy. There's a party game you can get on the Switch. I bought that
Yeah, I have. Of course you did.
because for the stream later on.
Yeah.
The stream.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Miles.
Think of the content, Ray. Think of the content.
This was a free, and I have not paid a penny yet. I did look at the prices,
yet.
and it ranges from like I think $14 to $20 to pull 10.
Is it anime also?
There's that.
Yes, there is also an anime.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
They're attacking on all fronts on this property. They're determined that somehow you get attached to these horse girls and you want.
I think it's working.
Well, it sure seems like it is because, like I said, I've been seeing this particular game, and I have to admit, I hate to admit it, but it's true. I don't hate it. So we'll see.
And see, Frank, the fact that he's like, I don't hate it, it means it's a win to everybody.
And here's the weird thing about it is because it's a scenario where it's horse racing, right? And what do you do in horse races? You bet on who's going to win the race, right? So in a weird way, because I'm such a narrative-focused idiot, like it makes sense to spend money in this game versus like a Genshin or the other games where it's you're traveling the stars and the planet, but wait a minute, where's your character at? To me, it makes no sense.
Hold it. So you're saying no, everybody else is dumb, but because in this,
there's a narrative reason for it. They thought about it, all right? They took the time a minute and thought about, why would you spend money? Well, you spend money at the horse track, don't you? Well, yeah. Well, you should spend money here. So yeah, that was the one thing I dabbled every so slightly into it, but I guess I'll tease this for next week or next episode of the podcast. Is hopefully I'll have some time to get my hands onto the Donkey Kong Bonanza. That is the big title that just came out recently.
Banjo-Kazooie too?
It seems like it could be. Yeah. So we'll see if that's worth the hype. I've heard good things. I finally got my copy, came in through Costco, saved a few dollars that way. Yeah, so we'll see if it's lived up to the hype. But finally, I've been kind of waiting for that game because I've been kind of stuck in a rut gaming-wise and also limited time working on artwork and other things behind the scenes for the podcast.
Well, you can always work on horse racing now.
Yeah, so we'll see about that, I guess.
If you find the right gacha game,
there you go.
You won't ever have to play
all I know is that the devs are like
you'll be done.
There you go.
The devs are crying right now in the booth. Like, we did it. Something Ray did not totally hate us.
There you go.
Welcome to Gacha Anonymous.
There you go. One of us.
You got it.
I hate this podcast sometimes, and this is one of the reasons why, apparently.
Oh, no. Is that a hole? Oh, no.
She kind of cute, though. What's up again, people? It's Commercial Ray and Commercial Miles here to let you know that our podcast is on various podcast platforms, such as what, Miles?
Well, we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube Music.
Wow, that's like all the major podcast platforms out there.
And just in case you feel like, you have a favorite podcast listener just yet, you always can go to our number one place, www.tacotaku.com.
There you can find everything Taco Otaku related that we do on the internet. Whoa, it's like we're a real podcast out here.
Yeah, next we might get monetization.
One day, it'd be nice if someone paid us for this thing we do.
But we do it out of love for you listeners out there.
My poor, poor wallet. All right, now that we've all talked about all our favorite horse girls, it sounds like, we have to do what we've all come here to do, gentlemen, the real homework, the real task and assignment for this very podcast episode. We're now going to talk about the brand new, sizzling, hot summer anime shows of 2025. As I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, we each have watched 3 different shows, the first 3 episodes or so, whatever is out currently to date. And we're going to talk about them all, give our opinions and thoughts early on. And out of those 3 shows, each of us will pass one show, we'll get a full review, and we'll get to a spoiler juicy talk at the end of the season. So probably September-ish, October-ish, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's like end of September. I think October is when the fall starts.
And let's see here. I guess we'll go in the order we just went in for our weeks, and we'll keep it going. So, Miles, brother, why don't you get us started off?
All right, I'll kick it off with a nice, easy show to start with. Let's talk about Ruri Rocks. So, Ruri Rocks stars a girl named Ruri. Hot shock.
Checks out.
High school girl, I guess she's really into like jewelry or particular like gemstones or things like that. It's like she's always like kind of like finding like the shiniest stone and probably showed everybody like, look how cool this stone looks like, things like that.
Diamonds are forever.
But she's kind of like I guess like a spoiled brat sometimes because she always like kind of complains like, I need money so I can get this Mr. Rock, whatever. And mom's like says, no, you can't get that. It costs a lot of money because jewelry costs a lot of money. I said you can find her out in nature, so she goes out. She goes out into the nature trying to find her own gemstones, I guess.
How old is this girl?
17.
Okay.
But she's, I swear, the show treats her more like she's like a middle schooler, to be honest. She eventually has her adventure. She's trying to find rocks, but she kind of doesn't know what she's doing. She bumps into the college student who happens to be major in
Minology.
Yeah, geology.
She's a big Minecraft fan.
Yeah, she is. And she's having to kind of say, no, you're doing it wrong. Kind of shows her a little bit to find the right how to mine. I guess not mine, but find like gemstones in that the right way. I guess. So it starts an elaborate journey for them searching to find all different, because apparently in Japan, because the way how Japan is.
I was gonna say, is this also in Japan?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
I guess logically to say, because this is also a very Dr. Stone science heavy show. Is that because Japan's has 4 different plates altogether? When they made Japan, you can find literally every single type of mineral on the island, which is very rare because no one else, other continent has this.
A lot of volcanoes.
They say you can find everything. You can find garnets. You can find diamonds. You can find they basically do all different stones, and every show's basically we're gonna find gold, or we're gonna find some sever. We're gonna go explore like the mountains and things like that. It gets very technical, kind of like a little too technical probably for like the average viewer. About how the stones are made, how
what they do,
science, and how that all works. Maybe a little too much for the average viewer probably. But basically, they go and they try to, I guess, help the college student try to, I guess, write her paper, I guess, on minerals and things like that.
The high school is teaching the college student now?
No, the high school kind of like she tags along, I guess, but no, she's like
she's working on her class, the college student.
Yeah, the college student is and
she's allowing this kid to ting along just as an insert for us, the honest, to be like, tell me more about this diamond.
Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty much like I said, like Dr. Stone types, like here, just talk about this stone. How does this stone get here? How does that do that? It's a lot of technical stuff, I guess. And that's the bit of the show. The show's very pretty. It does do outdoors very well. And also, I guess a very active way how stones are portrayed and how like you find the stones, things like that. Very scientifically correct, I guess, per se.
I see.
They do have some fan service moments for some reason. They throw in there sometimes, which kind of like is a little.
Does one have big boobs?
She has a big ass, and apparently they have to.
She's constantly getting her ass stuck in things.
No, but they're kind of like there's sometimes like when they animate certain scenes, they go like, but I don't need. What is this?
The camera's down below.
The camera's somewhere for some reason.
They're not looking at the minerals.
Yeah, you go like
they're looking at the other valuable assets on screen.
And you go like, but it's like it's always like they kind of like just toss it at you, like there's no real reason for it, right?
Just jump cut.
And it's like,
is there ever a reason?
People are horny, that's why.
Well, they want to keep the people interested in the mineral because you can't get.
Guess they fall asleep, and then this earth deposits the minerals. They make ass.
Yeah. So you can't be a little distracted because you're trying to think, trying to take the scientific facts, things like that, and then there's this weird random shot of her moving a certain way. It's like, why? But like I said, like like a lot of the outdoors that is animated pretty well. Everyone kind of has a lot of like flow movement, so it's very well animated. Like way how people they pick how they move and how they react to certain things.
Not stiff.
Yeah, so I think like Studio Bind, which I think I heard we watched their show, one of the shows from last year.
Sounds vaguely familiar.
But it's a lot of good scenery work, I guess. A lot of good visual backgrounds, things like that. Because you're not like going to a school or something. Well, they do go to school once, but
it's mostly outdoors.
It's mostly outdoors. We're exploring the mountains, the volcanoes, everywhere. So I said it's very well animated, but it is very technical. So if you're not awake after the boobs and ass, because I don't know if the show will be for you.
I hope you love learning about minerals and rocks.
But that's the basic gist of the show.
Oh, all right, then I guess we'll have to keep in suspense and see what happens. But until then, when we back to Miles, let's go to Frank. Frank, what is going to be your first anime of the season? Bum bum bum.
The first one is called Gachiakuta.
Sounds great to me.
It's this
At
one.
you.
I don't know if you.
It's an audio podcast, friend.
Oh, it's this nice anime on my phone.
It's the one that you still can't see.
It's
on Crunchyroll. How about that?
Out of the 3, I would say it's the more popular one.
Okay.
And I just based off because whenever I YouTube something, they start popping up. They're like, "Oh,
Right.
you like this? So let me show you some shorts about this."
There you go.
And it's the one that it's been popping up, and they show more like people like, "Oh, this is gonna be
It's the
next
best anime."
next one." I'm like,
Uh-huh.
"Is it the next best one, or is it the
Oh.
one that it has the next biggest budget?"
Oh wow.
So I wanted to find out. What I liked about it at first was the picture looks nice. The trailer looked nice. I'm like, okay, has some potential. Basically, it reminds me a little bit of One Piece.
Okay.
Because you're in this world and the whole thing is trash. So you're in this world and the rich people live in this isolated city, and then outside it looks super dirty, like
Okay.
like
I thought you just hated the anime for a sec there. It's
No.
just trash.
No. Like
Literally.
like the gimmick is trash.
I see.
So anybody outside of this secluded area, they look super poor, and so anybody inside there, they look really rich and they have nice clothes. And I wasn't kind of paying attention the first few seconds, but I think it starts off by the main character, which I don't know his name,
Main character A.
white haired dude.
Fair enough.
He's inside the big city, I guess, stealing stuff. And then he kind of gets caught. He runs away. He ends up in his own town, and I guess that's what he does. He just goes searching in trash for valuables. And then there's this girl who's his friend, and obviously he likes her, and he ends up getting this teddy bear, and they talk about it. Like, oh, it's not for sale, blah blah blah, and because he wants to give it to her. Anyways, he gives it to her. They have a moment, like kind of like, oh, she doesn't hate it, she loves it, and it's kind of like, in his eyes, it's the next step towards, getting
Going
the girl. So he goes back home, and then he finds out that I don't think it's his dad, but the guy that he lives with, the guy that takes care of him, is dead. Well, not dead, but somebody is killing him in the process of killing him. Oh, I forgot to mention this because they just randomly mentioned it. He's always wearing gloves, and I guess when he was little, he didn't have gloves, and you could see his hands are all like burnt, or I don't know if it means they're dirty or whatever. Anyways, he has weird hands. Back to what's happening. He's there. The guy runs away, and then the police comes, and they're like, I think it's the police, but people come and basically they blame him. He gets
framed.
I don't know if up framed, but he gets blamed, and it seems like he was gonna get crucified.
Oh, that's quite the jump.
Because he's like
on a cross and everything.
And then he sees like everybody's against him, and he sees the girl that he likes in the crowd, and he's like, "You believe me, right?" And she's like, "No, I can't believe you. You
there
suck."
It is.
So I don't know if later on she's gonna change her mind, or if that's just like, oh,
right, motivation for revenge? ?
So anyways, I thought they were gonna kill him, but they just threw him away. So apparently there's the city, the outer city, which is dirtier, and then the city below.
Wow.
Which is even dirtier. It's just like a big old dump.
Yikes.
There's all these weird monsters created by trash for some reason.
Oh,
okay.
That happens.
And then so basically, there's only 2 episodes. There's not much to say.
Okay.
Basically, he's down there and he gets attacked by these big old trash dinosaur-looking things. And I thought he awakened his powers, but he just punched it away like nothing. I'm like, wait, what happened? Did I miss some power upgrade?
Okay.
Anyways, apparently that wasn't enough. And then this other guy comes in and destroys him easily. I'm like, okay, this guy's overpowered. Long story short, he kind of like, they kind of don't have a good relationship. So he kind of tells him, okay, he kind of sends him away, and he's about to get beat up by the people that live down there. Because they're like making fun of him. Oh, you live up there and we're trash and you dump our trash on us and we hate you and we're going to sell you because you're a person from the upper city or whatever it's called. Blah, blah, blah. So then he awakens his powers. Best I can think of right now of a few videos I've seen and what I've seen on this is that there are people that have powers, kind of like devil fruits.
Okay.
And everybody can control something and just that one thing. And it's kind of like a power, like kind of like, okay, you can do fire, but not really fire, but like you can control swords. There's one sword, whatever. And you can control chairs, whatever. And as far as I can tell, he controls trash. So since trash can be anything, he can control a lot of things.
How convenient.
Yeah. So that's pretty much where it ends. 2 episodes. It looks really pretty, or should I say cool? It looks dope.
There you go.
The animation, like, you could tell that there's money in it. I really did like the beginning because the intro was kind of like, and I even wrote in my notes, cinematic intro. I'm like, ooh. So I was really intrigued. The opening is not bad. It kind of reminds me of Death Note.
Okay, that's good.
That one really metal song.
The second opening?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, it looks cool. It's promising. It's like shown it like, okay, this is the classic, the main guy, and then there's like, you can tell that there's bad guys, and
we're gonna do some fighting here.
No, but I mean, like, you can tell there's like an organization of bad guys, and you can tell that, okay, this is the Akatsuki and
and you
stuff
have
like
to
that.
take out these guys,
and you can tell they're gonna be different characters with different powers. So it's all nice, and I have high expectations for it, but part of me says, have I seen this already? Like, is this just the same thing with a different makeup?
Right.
So it's gonna be the balance. Like, it has the budget, it has all the pressing all the right buttons, but it's like, do I want to see these buttons again?
Do I really like them?
The same old buttons. They're pretty good buttons though. They press down pretty well. They're very worn out though.
Seems like more people like those buttons. Let's
I'm
say.
already playing Maple. Do I need Maple too? And that's Gachiakuta.
Alrighty then. I guess we'll have to see if it's gonna make the final cut or not. Alright, that means it's my turn to talk about my first anime of the season. And I'll just go by the order which I saw mine, no particular order really. So the first one up I have is Betrothed to My Sister's Ex.
Okay.
Which is based on a light novel series, and the anime is done by Studio Land Q, which I looked up and did not recognize a single thing for them. It must be a relatively new studio, and apparently this is like their most popular thing or highest rated thing at the moment. So we'll see if that's a good sign or bad sign. So this takes place in like a fantasy medieval European setting where it's all about like nobles and high class and the commoners and this and that. The main story focuses on a noble girl named Mari, who is pretty much Cinderella because she is the younger sister in her family. She has one older sister that her parents love and adore because she's cute and she's got blonde hair. And I guess in this world, if you're small and have blonde hair, you're like desirable. And if, of course, in this kind of time period the show takes place in, for a girl, you want to be pretty so that way you can marry to a higher nobleman and move the family on up and this and that, right? So the parents really adore the older sister, but Mari, being the younger sister, is like the lost, forgotten member of the family. She's treated like more of a servant, almost like a slave sometimes in its depiction of it. And the reason she's an ugly, forgotten family member is because she's tall and has red hair. So Frank already might be has some disagreements, perhaps, on this society's class of attractiveness.
Just stop. Like, forget of it.
But Frank, don't worry, Frank.
Don't pick this one.
Thankfully, though, there's another like-minded individual in this world, just like Frank, because a Duke Cyrus enters one day. He's pretty up there, and he's like one of the top, leaders in the nation. And he stumbles upon Mari when one day. So okay, it's like a whole thing. So it's technically Mari's birthday, and they have a celebration, but because she's like the outcast, she's just in like her poor little dress, talking to herself in the garden while her family and everyone's living up in the nice little house they have there. But anyway, the Duke enters the scene, finds her because he's lost looking for the house, and they kind of have a conversation. And, because she's such a not typical noble person who snuck up and basically a jerk like her parents are, she's down to earth, very humble, kind, sweet, cares about other cultures. And it turns out the Duke Cyrus also, he has a bit of a family drama where he is the Duke's successor to his family, but his mother was his father's concubine until the real mother died, and then his mother became the real one. And because that father never had any other sons, he basically gets to inherit the title and the land in the future. So he has a very also different feelings and thoughts when it comes to nobility in this world. Anyway, so these two kind of have a hit off, and soon as he doesn't really catch her name, it gets confusing. Basically what happens is he gets mistaken Mari's name for his for her sister's name Anastasia, who the father assumed that's what the Duke was talking about because she's the pretty girl. Why would also the Duke be talking about his ugly daughter, right? And so the Duke falls in love, goes home, writes an official letter of intent for marriage, thinking that he's proposing to Maria or Mari, but ends up putting Anastasia because that's who he thinks she is. So the father's happy, Anastasia's relatively happy because, hey, I'm moving up, I'm doing what my family wanted to, and so she's off to now marry the Duke. Or so we thought, because as a sudden twist, telenovela style, she dies.
Oh, okay.
The carriage apparently falls off a cliff, and she is presumed dead. In order to fix this, the family's desperate because, if we could, if our family could marry into this guy, we're set for life, and we've been hoping our whole lives to do this. And so as a desperate plea, they say, hey, Mari, you're now going to marry this guy and make him comfortable, and maybe we'll figure something out. We'll sweet talk him, right? Because no one's going to like an ugly broad like you, but you'll just sleep with him for the night, and maybe he'll think about us, and maybe we'll get you'll become his concubine, and we'll work our way up, right? In a very despicable, wow, these are the worst parents of the year award, if not the century.
Gendo would proud.
Yes.
Gendo award.
So anyway, Mari gets shipped out. Who is thinking she's unwanted by her family and now by the Duke because he's settling for the sister. But the Duke is super happy because he thought that she's the one that died, but she's still alive, and it was the sister that died tragically. And so he's over the moon. He can't see straight. The person I thought was dead is now back. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, Duke. I'm sorry you have to settle for me, because she's, she kind of really looks down on herself because everyone else her whole life has told her she's an ugly mug. But, he's trying his best to be like, no, I wanted to marry you. I didn't understand. I accidentally proposed to your sister. It's you I wanted to marry. And she's very, but I'm an ugly duckling. But of course, she has a glow up in episode, I think, end of episode 1, if not episode 2, where, of course, it turns out when she's not covered in dirt and dust and living on the soil, she cleans up very nicely, let's say. And Sparkle is just as bright, and turns out she's quite the beautiful young lass. And so that's where we're kind of starting off pretty much in those first 2-3 episodes.
Yes, I'm back in.
Where now she's trying to, find confidence in herself and trying to really believe this Duke actually does love her, that she can be loved, and she's a good person. And lucky for her, like I said, the fact that the Duke himself has a bit of a tragic or a dramatic past, let's say, involving, like I said, bloodlines and family and expectation, this and that. So there's a lot of chemistry between the two. They have a lot of similarities, and you can understand why they each kind of have appeal for each other. And it talks constantly because, like I said, he's kind of grown up in a European setting, despite, like I said, his mother and that side of the family is more Middle Eastern Asian influences. So it's kind of neat to see the clashing of cultures in this fantastical setting, so it allows for that to happen, which I think is neat. And yeah, so it's like a series about that of, are these two really going to get married? is it going to survive? Is the parents going to show their ugly head again? How's that going to work? There's a lot of potential family drama coming down the line to see what will happen. But yeah, that, kind of Shakespearean-ish thing of romance and this and that in a fantastical setting and higher class and, what makes a good person and this and that. So yeah, that is basically what you're going to get in that series. And yeah, I thought overall, a little predictable, maybe a little by the numbers, but I really did like you got to see both sides of, the male and female protagonists and their point of view of how they see each other. Because I mentioned that several times in other animes and romance stories of it's always you understand the guy's view or the girl's point of view, but you never understand the other point of view of why do you like this person when it doesn't seem like they have anything in common. But here it just makes a lot of common sense. So with that, and once again, the more characteristic stuff and an interesting world to see, makes a good person good and a bad person bad, and nobility and F that and this and that. Let's see how many social rules we could break with these two lovers coming together potentially. So yeah, the title's a bit of a lie, a little of a diversion, but it might be a cute little romance anime to keep an eye on. So we'll see if it makes the final cut. A lot of explanation there going on that one. Hopefully my next one's a little bit simpler. But until then, let's go back to Miles. Miles, what is your second anime of the season?
Second anime I chose for this season would be see you at the tomorrow at the food court.
Where are we gonna go, Miles?
We're going to Food Plaza apparently.
Oh,
that's what I
want a McDonald's.
So it's funny. So it starts off kind of nonchalantly with these two girls. One's a Garu, Yamamoto, and then
wait, that's her name?
Well, they know their last names.
Okay. I was like, her name is Garu.
Because like I said, it's very. It kind of starts off.
They use nicknames.
Yeah, use like nicknames or whatever. That's what they call themselves, I guess. And Wada is a girl who's more plain, but she's very eccentric, I guess. But she's very plain looking and like more down to earth and not really noticeable per se. They go to 2 different schools, but after school they meet up at this food court or food plaza, which is kind of like
at a mall.
Kind of like a mallish area, but they it's like a food court. Well, it's like
it's just an outside food court
or indoors. It's like indoors. Like we've seen like places like in Vegas. They have like the
cute bunch of little restaurants.
Little restaurants. But
right, like at the Aria from Vegas, or there's a bunch of little food options. Gotcha.
They hang out and basically they just Seinfeld away through the whole thing. They talk. They talk about little pet peeves they had throughout their day, like certain things that bothered them, things like that. And kind of like organically goes back and forth, like thought process, things like that. It is interesting because they're not afraid to show sponsorships. There is KFC, and there is all 31 flavors, Baskin Robbins, a lot of and ramen, which I think is funny. So ramen,
just ramen,
yeah,
not even like a particular brand.
Yeah, it's like almost a giant bowl because there's a whole bit of them trying. They had like a super hot ramen. They dare each other to have it, and they couldn't stand it because it was so hot, or spicy, I guess I should say.
The salt content. Okay.
But basically, the basic show is that because every episode's like 4 mini episodes, very much.
I see.
A conversation they have, and it's funny because kids these days, they don't really look at each other talking, I guess, or say they're on their phones.
Oh,
they're kind of like they're talking about certain things, and. It's interesting because they're talking about like go from like one topic about like the kids today they do like I made this thing and they what's it with the kids these days and like earphones and stuff like that, right? Or or like man, they were so busy talking about their boyfriends too much small talk. It bothers one of the other girls. And they talk about like what bothers you about small talk is like, well, it goes nowhere, things like that. It's a lot it's hard to describe it because it's not exactly like it's a very like it reminds me of Seinfeld. It's a very like I don't know where conversation.
But it sounds like all the conversations are based on things like they're currently going through.
Yeah. So it's like it's like kind of like a slice of life, I guess, in that aspect, I guess.
So they're just eating and complaining about life.
Yeah, like the best one it would hurt me a bit more when we're talking about gacha games.
Oh no.
And like one of the Wada she was like she was trying to get pulled for a certain character, or she did not want to pull for a certain character. And I guess she failed her she owed a 50-50 pull, and so she got the character anyway.
So we're passing this anime, right, Miles?
Yeah, and then she has to fall in love with the character. So like every other episode, she'll start buying a plushie, and then she'll start like buying she keeps playing more of this game, so she gets more addicted to the game, and like it's just like, and I don't this hurt me so much to like watch it. Like wow,
did the girl stop and look directly in the camera and go, "Hey, how's it going, Miles?"
Yeah. I was like, oh, this ain't good.
Talking to you.
But like I said, it's funny because the Yamamoto, the Garo girl, she might seem like very loud per se, but she's actually very down to earth and more like talk things out per se.
Mm-hmm.
While the more normal, quiet looking one,
appearance wise, is the exact opposite.
Is like just like nowhere, it goes on weird tangents. There's a lot of like. Bothers when people want to talk to her or talk about lovey-dovey stuff, whatever. Like that's so annoying. People trying to make small talk with her, things like that. But she basically complains to Yamamoto all the time, and Yamamoto kind of calms her down, basically. And that's the gist of the whole their interaction with each other. It is very, I guess, quality budget, but cause they do the food does look pretty good. The KFC does like KFC chicken,
original, extra crispy.
They also have 31 flavors. They do have the little like pink spoon. They do have 31 flavors on the side, things like that.
Roll credits.
It's like wow, we got sponsorship in here, and like there's no
animation ain't cheap.
Yeah. Like I said, it's very fun. Like them chatting about everyday lives with each other. Because they go to different schools, so you don't really see their school per se. This is what because they met since they were in middle school, I guess. When they first met each other.
I was gonna ask. That was gonna be my one question. How do they even know each other?
Well, because the show kind of tells you over time, like
right.
certain aspects, things like that.
So they met in middle school, but then they went to different high schools, and this is how they hang out now.
Yeah, they hang out at the food courts and the whole.
I see you on the court, food court.
Like I said, it's like every minute, it's like 5 minutes. Around eye catch, and we move on to the next topic and move on. Right. So I said it's like I mentioned, like other like Time for Troy Princess into that. A lot of shows I kind of watch are more like short format kind of shows. Like, here's a little bit, move on. Here's a little
For
bit.
my TikTok rot brain.
Yeah, I guess so. But, I thought it was funny because it reminded me a lot of stuff because they just like obscure, out of nowhere things that somehow managed to tie themselves eventually back together at the end of the conversation, I guess. So, I thought it was interesting.
What's the deal with KFC?
Yeah.
They don't have fried chicken on Christmas in America, so why do we?
All I know is that I do want some mint chocolate chip ice cream now. The more I think about watching.
You want that no matter what you're watching and or doing.
I know, but we're gonna have like Ghibli style food going on.
Yeah,
here.
don't promise me things you can deliver, my friend.
What to say? It's a hot chicken.
Miyazaki's gonna jump across the microphone, and smack you somehow.
Yeah.
All right, well, I guess we'll have to stay tuned to see if we're gonna get our grub on and talk about random things, or are we going to find some rocks, or the third choice? Bum bum bum. But until then, we get to the final one. Frank, we will come to you and ask you, what is your second anime of the season?
Okay. Next one we'll talk about is The Water Magician.
Alrighty.
Okay. So when I saw the trailer of this one, it showed nothing. It showed nothing. It's just a guy walking and he made a little.
Not even water.
He showed a little water. That's it.
He must be the magician.
But the cover looked nice. It looked like they put effort into it.
All right.
The water looked nice and fresh, crisp. To the best of my knowledge, I believe this is an isekai.
Okay.
Which I was like, oh, probably this doesn't say I died and became a water magician.
Checks out.
So it didn't even show how this guy dies. It just basically, it starts off to, if I can remember correctly, it starts off with him talking to some guy who could be God, and I think he even asked him, "Are you God?" He's like, "No, I'm more like an angel or something like that."
Oh, okay.
But basically, he just asked him like, "Oh, what do you want to be? You're dead, but we're gonna revive you. What do you want?" And then he decides, "Oh, I just want a calm life." So he gets revived into a cabin in the middle of nowhere, and which is kind of weird because he sort of gives him sort of instructions, and then as the world expands, you could kind of feel like it's a video game. So it's kind of weird. Like at times it feels like it's not, but then it's like, wait, it is. And anyways, so I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. So he's in this cabin. He tells him you have enough food for 2 months, and he just gives him like random facts, like, oh, 20% of the population can use magic, and you're gonna be one of them.
Ooh.
And which is a weird thing to say, in my opinion. Like, why does it matter? And then, so he just goes and he lives his quiet life. And then he's like, okay, I could just stay here. But then he ends up, okay, I guess I got to learn to hunt for food because he only gave me 2 months. So he starts to work on his water. He sucks at it at first. And then he gets better. He learns to hunt. And then he has this book that kind of like a novice guidebook. And it tells him, okay, this type of creature is the weakest. And he runs into it. It looks super strong to me. And I'm like, this is the weakest. Anyways,
what happened to slimes?
He ends up killing it based on using magic in a creative way. And then he ends up reading the book more, and it shows you that, oh, dragons are... That was the first one, and he goes to like the last page. Dragons are the second strongest in the whole land. Followed by, they call it Akuma, which is basically demons, devils, whatever.
Right.
So devils are like... So let me go back to the dragon. Dragons is like, if you see a dragon, run away, because you're not going to beat it.
Right.
And then he says, if you see a devil, just hope you never meet one. So he ends up kind of like trying to train, and then he runs into a headless horseman.
Oh, what happened?
Headless horseman without the horse.
Forgot the horse.
So basically he ends up with running into an armor. I would not do this, but he ends up like approaching it and fighting it. I'm like, why would you do this? He looks super strong.
I guess he had the confidence.
But he ends up like going every day to train with that thing.
Oh.
Okay, I don't know how he figured out that you would train with that person. So that's pretty much episode 1. He gets revived, learns to live by himself, gets stronger, trains every day. That's episode 1. You meet the magician, you see him get stronger, he becomes the water magician.
All right.
Episode 2, basically he meets this guy who gets stranded, and then they become sort of friends. And he always has these questions like, oh man, it's kind of funny because he's always like, oh, he must be poor, and I must have offended him with my comment, like, oh, you don't. So he always says stuff like that, which is kind of funny. They end up deciding to go to where he was going, which is to a town or something like that. So he escorts him to the next town.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot why. Oh, yeah, he tells him because, you know the area more than me. He's like, no, I don't. But he ends up going with him. And then once they get, basically that's episode 2, just the journey. And they get there and he's like, oh, you're going to become part of the guild. Because, I'm not going to pay for you every time we go into town. And then that'll be like your ID. You join a guild and that's your ID. Blah, blah, blah.
Makes sense.
So that's episode 1, and then 2 is the journey, and then 3 you see him be in the guild. I think I might have been saying, but anyways, he finds out he's really strong, which I don't know how he got so strong so fast. He's really strong. They end up killing these strong bad guys, and they have this very valuable loot. So he's like, oh, I don't have to work no more.
There you go, $5 million right there.
He ends up joining the guild, but he doesn't join in the lowest rank because he gets recommended by that guy, who I suspect is high ranking, but I don't think they've mentioned what ranking he is. So I guess technically the water magician should be even higher rank because he's way stronger than the swordsman. There's really no goal right now. He went with him and he's there. He joined, and I guess he's still trying to decide what to do next. The last episode that I saw, he ran into Akuma.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I totally skipped it. He ran into a dragon, and the dragon was really nice.
Oh, well, there you go.
So I was like, oh, I thought
we should just talk it out.
I was like, oh, we are already seeing the second strongest monster.
Right.
And he ends up being your friend. Oh, I totally skipped it.
He must be a big Undertale fan.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you that he beat a really strong bird. Anyways,
take that bird.
Basically, where I left off, he meets this Akuma. He fights him. He ends up... I don't know. They were pretty evenly matched. And then I guess he tells him like that there's more of them. And yeah. So I guess he's like, oh, I guess I better be careful. He has kind of like a carefree kind of attitude because he kind of seems like he's like only one that's not from this world. But now it kind of gives me vibes of Overlord.
Oh, I see.
Because I feel like the Akumas are going to be other reincarnated people.
Oh, okay.
Because they seem to have different kind of like, oh, you're kind of like us.
Interesting.
So, yeah, I kind of wanted to tell you what happens because it's kind of like a slower paced show, even though it's kind of going. It feels slow, but it's progressing fast. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's what it sounds like from your description.
So it kind of gives me like Freyren vibes because the title is the same font. The animation I feel looks like it. But Overlord vibes also because it's isekai.
Right.
And it's kind of chill. I feel like the story is not really much, but I'm relaxed to watch it. So it's surprising. I didn't think I was gonna enjoy it.
Well, there you go. I guess you have to wait it out to see if we're going to get more action and more slice of life or what we're going to get. But first, before we get there, it's now my turn to talk about my second anime of the season. So next up, we have Detective These Days Are Crazy! ! This is over on Crunchyroll. It is based off a manga of the same name and is brought to you by Linden Films, who have made a couple of shows that I've enjoyed in the past, including Yamada-kun and the Seven Witches, Call of the Night, and Insomniacs After School. So those are some names that I recognize and have enjoyed if you're a long-time listener of the podcast. All right, so this story starts off with our main protagonist of Keiichiro Naganumo, something like that.
Yeah.
And he is a private detective who once upon a time was a famous rising star in the detective world, apparently, in Japan. He was pretty much like a modern day Sherlock Holmes, Jimmy Kudo, or Conan for Case Closed, Detective Conan fans. And he had a very bright future ahead of him. He could solve any mystery, this, then, when he comes. The sad part is that was like 10, 15 years ago now at this point. Because our story really takes place when he's around the age of 35, I think the show says.
Oh, that's when the verse starts.
And, he's been struggling pretty much ever since chasing those glory days and struggling just to keep his small private agency afloat. He's pretty much your typical people to do the job, catch people cheating on their spouses, that kind of stuff. Nothing exciting, no murder mystery cases like Jimmy would get or Conan. And yeah, he's just kind of happy, content with that at the moment, despite he's kind of desperate, and he's always like despite he's 35 years old, he's like constantly like pulling his back and his shoulder and this and that.
Same.
He's like, constantly smoking his cigarettes all the time to feel better, I guess. So, very much an old man vibe going on there. And so, yeah, he's kind of miserable and just kind of accepting it until one day a high schooler named Masahiro shows up who pretty much forces her way into working as his assistant because she just wants to be a detective. And she is very much like a wild card, makes no sense, and defies all logic in this universe. She's very much like a gag manga character that came to life. Despite, we're supposed to be more gritty, down-to-earth detective stuff. And she defies logic. One of the things she can apparently do is she can store, like, refrigerators and, like, weights and coffee machine, like, anything you can imagine. She's like Link and just stores it in her school uniform somehow. So she just keeps whipping it out for nonsense and practical silliness, not practical reasons. Just for gags, I guess is the way to describe it. And so yeah, she's like defying laws and logic, almost like Haru from Fully Cooley, is that right?
Yeah.
Haruko, there we go. That's what it is.
Yeah, no guitars banging on someone's head.
No guitars just yet, but that kind of intensity, over the topness, absurdity. Think of that, and that's what you got going on here. And so enough.
Pillows?
No pillows, sadly. So yeah, they're just kind of doing normal, kind of everyday cases, looking for lost dogs. There's another case like in the second episode where there's this guy who claims he seems like a ghost outside his apartment, and he's hoping that they're Ghostbusters apparently, because that's the closest thing you're gonna find.
Yeah.
And then third episode, you meet, I guess, another wannabe apprentice that has a competition with her to become his real apprentice. But he's actually, I guess, kind of like him, where he's now, this other student is like the new version of his old self, being a popular high school detective. And then he has like an assistant who's kind of like a Rei Ayanami, there you go. Who's just very mute and just kind of goes along with the shenanigans and kind of just talks smack about him in front of his face. And so, yeah, this is very much a wacky comedy that has a bit of a hit and miss for me. Because like back in episode 1, what really turned me off in that first episode is it's like, oh, this cute busty high school girl just entered my office. He ha ha. What's up with that? She's got such a short skirt. He ha ha ha. So it's like, oh, geez, yikes. Ugh, don't like where this is going. And of course, the camera followed with his mindset also to go with that. So, like I said, turn off in episode 1. Episode 2 was a little bit better because, like I said, they kind of backed away from the etchiness of it all and focused more on the shenanigans because, like, there's like this ghost thing, and turns out it's not a real ghost. Surprise, surprise. What? But it's like constant. She's like, breaking out windows, running sonic speed, running down the street, trying to catch the thing. And it's just a lot of silly gags like that. And in the third episode, like I said, they're doing like silly competitions around town to see who's the real best detective. But yeah, it's just silly shenanigans like that. And like I said, some of the jokes are a little funnier because they're just very absurd, where she'll make silly faces. There's a couple anime manga references to go with it. And he's an old man. He's just kind of smoking away and just kind of taking it in or shrugging it. So once in a while he'll react, which is kind of funny, where like, she does something crazy and he's like, how did you do that? Like, what? So it's a bit of a mixed bag, because sometimes I find myself like, oh man, where's my phone, or what else is there on to watch? And sometimes I'm like, I think I actually laughed. But they're very lowbrow, dumb jokes. So if that's what your shtick is, then I think there's a more chance you're gonna laugh from this one than not. But for me, on this first 3 episodes, it was a hit and miss. It did get better. Like I said, first episode, consent. Second episode was better. And the third episode is probably the one I enjoyed the most. And allowed for those other 2 characters to show up. And they all play off each other as a comedy group. I think it works best. Because there's only so many times she could do something random and crazy and over the top to, save the day in her wacky, absurd way that defies all logic and reality. So that's another thing, is you got to be able to turn off your brain, which, lucky for me, I think in the show, I was able to do that fairly quick, and I wasn't too busy going, well, that's just dumb, that makes no sense, because, you just have to give into the absurdity, or what's the point of watching the show? But yeah, it's just a comedy focus. The animation is overall pretty good. It's nothing super amazing, but I guess it's better than you would expect for a silly gag manga anime. So, kudos for that. The opening is weird because it's like, oh, like super intense. It reminds me of that. What was that anime about the cringe-worthy anime girl? Watamote, something like that?
Oh, that one?
Where it's like very grungy and heavy metal, and it's all about her. It's like, imagine that equivalent, but it's all about him, and it's like Sin City with all the red and dark silhouettes.
Okay.
So it's interesting. I don't know if it's good, but it's not your typical anime opening.
Right.
But it might be a little deceiving because it looks so like serious, and I guess that's the joke because it doesn't correlate to the show at all what it really is. But yeah, so yeah, it's just wacky, kooky characters in this little town, and will this old man find his groove again? Will they explain why she even entered his life and all these other people and this and that? Because it's all up in the air, and at some point, I don't know if anyone cares if such questions get answered, but I guess back in my head, I was kind of thinking, why? ¿Por qué? So we'll have to see what's up with that show down the line, assuming it gets past full review. So stay tuned for that. And with that note, we are now officially, gentlemen, on our last round of previews of summer 2025. So Miles, get us kicked off with your final anime of the season.
All right. So my final anime of the season will be Secrets of the Silent Witch. So we start off in the fantasy world in which there are dragons. Dragons are bad. No,
Again?
Yeah, we don't like dragons apparently. People can use magic, but for you to use magic, you have to like do the whole incantation. A lot like la 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 la. It goes
gibberish.
this, gibberish things for you to do stuff, whatever. They attacked the town. I guess a duke's daughter. I guess because I guess he's fighting. Oh, he's fighting over here, so she's kind of like holding the ground. I guess for the town. I guess so. Kind of she's like in the capital, and whatnot.
Well, who's she? I got lost here already. Sorry. Oh, I heard it's a magical world, but who is she and who's this duke and why is she fighting?
Well, I haven't got there yet.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, because she's not really the really important one. So the town. She's like, it's like someone save me, whatever. So then a witch appears. She has to be one of the 7 mages, but she uses a unique type of magic no one else could do before, which is unincantated magic. So she does magic without really saying out loud per se.
Checks out.
She destroys the dragon, saves the whole town. Yay, whatnot. Problem is, though, as you probably can guess for now, she is very shy.
Oh boy.
Like I wouldn't say I would totally feel like Bochi broke down, I guess, in a way.
Oh Jesus Christ.
But we're
not far off.
We're not far off.
God help us all.
But but she is trying her best. In her own way.
Go, girl.
Don't go, girl. Stay where you're at. Leave me alone.
So basically,
you can do it.
She's one of the 7 sages. 7 sages are like, I guess, powerful wizards, I guess, and she was the last one. She knows well enough magic to, I guess, be part of the group. Even if she really doesn't want to be part of the group, she wants to stay home and work on numbers.
And be quiet.
She wants numbers, things like that. But she's kind of forced into helping protect the prince of the world.
The prince of the world?
Yeah,
that's a hell of a title.
Yeah, because the prince goes to school, but a lot of assassinations there trying to get at him, right? Because he sends to like a popular magic school. So she's kind of reluctantly tasked to try to protect him, but she kind of fumbles trying to get her way in there per se, because she has to kind of like infiltrate the school kind of in a way, a certain.
Colonel, I'm in.
But like I said, she's very shy. She doesn't really like talk very well. She freezes up. She kind of
And that's the joke.
And that's a joke. But she does have cool moments, and she's very excited about numbers. She likes doing number calculations. So she likes she can calculate a person's height, things like that, like on the fly, I guess per se, like how much. But she's trying to do her job so that way we can leave her alone, so she can go back to
her numbers,
in her house. And that's pretty much the gist of the show. And I said,
she like a high schooler?
Yeah, she's like 16.
Okay, so quite literally.
But like I said, because she started dragging around like, let's say, like 5 years ago. She did that. She gained fame, but she's like, I just want to be in college and be alone with myself.
So she's been broken ever since she was a small child, almost.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what she basically learned uncanny magic because she wants to not speak like someone else we all know.
Because she's shy.
So, and the gist of the story is, she's trying to do her job so that way you could leave her alone. She could go back to her house pretty much. But she doesn't know. She's trying to learn to be more sociable and try to, figure out why is everyone trying to kill the prince. Because there's a lot of like weird accidents happening lately at the school. Like these late night students do something to the prince, but like they don't remember it, and it kind of like have like a niche.
They do. What do they do?
Well, like I said, like some try to like assassinate him, like poison him or something like that, but he doesn't remember it doing.
They
so.
don't mean to. They've been brainwashed to try to kill them.
But I said, but the school's also like very known for way.
So it's just Hogwarts, where nothing but murder happens constantly under the watch of protectors.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen the teachers yet, to be honest.
CTU, rejoice.
Like I said, but it's like very high class. There's a lot like nobility, a lot of like like I'm hired in my
right. My family lineage comes from great generations, and you're just trash.
Yeah, there's a lot of like hoity-toity nonsense. But there's just like she's just trying to make a name for herself, trying to help people so that way she could just.
She wants to go home.
Yeah,
she doesn't care about this shit.
Yeah, but that's all. The main part is the intrigue about what's the prince, why everyone assassinated the prince, what's happened to the students, like why everything's connected but not connected in a certain way. Like a lot of good dramatic moments here and there, but it is weird because sometimes it does like there are like raise zero kind of like high emotional moments here, and then it goes to like funny because she can't speak very well, so because she's shy as heck, and that's why the comedy comes in for a hot second. Comedy quotation marks. Yeah, so it's like a it can be a mixed emotions, I guess, but I think it does very well. It's well animated. It's by I want to say it's White Fox. I'm not sure because it looks like Re:Zero. I think it's White Fox. Yeah, so that's just the story. It's a lot of like so this girl's trying to socially fit in. At the same time, there's a mystery afoot. No one knows. There's an assassination on the world prince. It still sounds goofy. Or I guess the prince like second. No, he's the next lineage thing, and I guess they want to.
He's also a high schooler the same age.
Yeah,
and they go to the same magic school together.
Yeah,
is he one of the Great Seven? Magnificent Seven?
No, he's not.
Okay,
and that's the whole point because he's kind of like the student.
So who does she interact just with herself or random episodic characters?
Like characters she bumps into along the way.
She has no friends.
Well, she does kind of make friends a little bit
along the way. She doesn't have like a go-to bestie.
I guess she has a cat familiar, I guess.
I was going to say, what animal is it?
Well, it's always a cat.
Well, witches, ain't it?
But that's pretty much just pretty much she tries to calm her down. Most of that because she kind of like she freaks out, stumbles, and then she kind of just like looks sad about herself.
Does everyone know the cat can talk?
No, it's only, I guess only only they have like a
telepathic.
Yeah, not telepathic, but like they talk like when no one's looking, I guess. Like
it's a secret that he can talk. Sailor Moon.
Yeah, basically.
That'll work too.
Yeah, so the whole thing is like a mystery. Like who's after the prince, who's after this, and when can she go home? That's pretty much just the whole story.
Alrighty, well there you go. There's the Silent Witch something or another.
Secret of the Silent Witch.
It's one of a secret if we all know she's shy. Alright, well there you go. I guess you have to stay tuned a little bit longer to see if that will be the one that Miles chooses. But now it's time for Frank. Frank, what is the last anime of the season for you?
Let me get the spelling right.
There'll be a test on this. Pencils down.
All right, don't test me on this. But the last one I'm gonna talk about is called Clevatess.
Okay.
Clevatess. What does that mean? I don't know.
Google it, kids.
But basically, I guess I want to say two things right away. This one has probably the crappiest anime.
Animation
out of the animation
okay.
out of the three, but the story that I'm most interested in. So I'm like, and then the opening kind of reminds me of and the whole vibe kind of a little bit, not too much, of Berserk. I don't know if that's because they don't have that much money and they couldn't put much.
That's all they had left,
or if that's what they were trying to go for, kind of like that, kind of little bit of a art style or aesthetic kind of also world setting because it's kind of like in the
medieval fantasy, big swords, magic, and all that. Okay.
So I have to start off with explaining the world. This is the world where humans live. I think there's 5 different races of humans or subhumans, and they live around in this part of the world, continent, whatever. But it's bigger than what it is. But they don't explore outside because apparently there's like, if I'm not mistaken, like 5 dark lords that are.
What is it, Hunter Hunter?
Yeah, sort of. But there's basically 5 big monsters that are kind of like that's their domain. So if they go out, they're like, we're gonna beat you up.
Right, we can't guarantee nothing.
Yeah. So I guess the story starts off with one of the ones who they look like humans. They attack one of the beasts
Mm-hmm.
Why? I don't know, because it seems pretty like a stupid idea to me. So the beast gets angry and he retaliates.
That makes sense.
Wow.
And then basically, like, all the heroes die. All the heroes that they sent. He goes back to his domain, but on the way back, he runs into this mom, and he's like, "Oh, can you please? Like, I know, like the baby has nothing to do with this whole war between you and the humans.
Mm-hmm.
Can you at least spare this human?" And he's like, "Why should I care?" So he goes like, "Well, just give it a chance, please. I'm begging you." And he kind of caves. And you know what? I'll give it a shot. What the heck? So he takes the baby back, and basically, I'm gonna take care of you and see you grow up and see if you can redeem humanity. Because right now I think they suck. They attack me for no reason.
Fair enough.
So then he finds out that basically he can't take care of a baby because he doesn't know how. So he revives one of the heroes that he killed, that one girl hero. And basically he's kind of controlling her because anything he says, she does. So this is where I kind of did not expect this to happen, because he like makes her take off his shirt. He's like, "Okay, give him milk." And she's like, "You idiot! I'm not a mom. I can't give milk."
Right.
So,
it's not exactly how that works.
So it has kind of like this. It doesn't feel like they do it for fan service. It's almost like because it's like, they don't show nothing, but it's kind of like, whoa, what's going on? Like,
Right.
Uh-huh.
And then there's another part where I'll get to that. So basically he tells her, "Hey, you need to get a proper person to take care of them."
Right.
So he kind of like, they kind of talk about it like, "Oh, we have to go into town, find somebody, but you're a big ass monster. You can't."
It's not gonna work out too well.
So he kind of turns into a human, but he still looks like a monster. He has a big ass horn in his head.
How berserk of them.
So they go into town and they get kidnapped right away. He gets killed right away.
The monster?
Yeah, and
Because he wasn't that tough.
and even the hero was like, "This is the Dark Lord. It's not gonna happen." He dies.
That's funny.
And then they wake up and then he's like, "Oh, I thought you died." Like, "Oh yeah, I didn't know his body was so weak."
Oh, I see. Oh, I get it now.
So he's like, "Well, okay, now that you're alive, why are we still kidnapped?"
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Well, I gotta keep it on the, I don't want to expose my identity, so we're gonna have to get away with this the normal means." And basically, that's kind of where we're at now, because they get kidnapped by bandits, and then he kind of finds his wet nurse, which it's kind of like a little bit too graphic for me in a way, where
Violent wise?
not violent, but when we're talking about that girl. And like, babe, first of all, like pretty much all the customers in the bar are like mistreating her, and then they even take her out to the back, and they which I was like, no, they didn't. And then basically,
pretty much.
Yeah,
without showing it, they definitely imply it.
And then they basically talk about her story, where basically that used to happen to her mom.
Oof.
And then her mom used to let herself get violated to spare her.
Right.
But once her mom disappeared, I don't know if she died or they just sent her away, it started to fall on her.
Right.
And then she kind of like, when you're a slave, you don't have much hope, but she kind of got hope because, they would impregnate her a lot and she would have babies, and a lot of times they would die. I don't even think one of them survived, which is kind of like, oh, this is a little too detailed on your backstory. Like,
it is Mother Nature, but that's a lot of thinking about Mother Nature.
Yeah, so
it's heavy shit, that's for sure.
So the guy's like, "Oh, you're perfect," and he tells her, "Come with me.
You got the job."
And he's like, "You dumbass, you're a slave too." So she doesn't accept. Like, she's like, "How can you save me if you're here with me?"
Right.
Basically, okay, let's get rid of all the bandits. They split because they take the other girl. And apparently she's immortal too. Now that she's been revived, she cannot die because basically her power, the Dark Lord's power, is keeping her alive.
Okay.
All this shenanigans happens, and she ends up. I'm trying to get
right.
All the shenanigans happens. She ends up going under the lake and gets away from all the bandits and finds the legendary sword.
Oh.
The demon lord ends up getting the wet nurse killed. The baby gets kidnapped, and then he realizes that there's magic that he didn't know about. So he's like kind of mad about that. Anyways, they end up reuniting, and they kind of like decide to revive the wet nurse because he's like, well, too bad.
I've done already one. What's another one?
So the girl, who I think is the main character in my opinion, ends up convincing the Dark Lord to revive her. And then that's kind of where it leaves off. And the baby apparently is royalty. They found out.
Of course.
Oh yeah.
Because and then
the World Prince?
And he has a girl's name, Luna. Which is like, what? Anyways, apparently royalty are the only ones that can mine magic stones.
Oh.
That's why they're special, actually. I was
gonna say, did you watch Miles' shows accidentally? What's going on here?
Yeah. So basically, his goal is to take care of the baby and see if humanity can be redeemed. Humanity can be redeemed. And then the girls, her goal is to keep the baby safe, because if this doesn't work, we're screwed.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I'm like, okay, it's a bit different than stuff that I usually watch.
it's out there a little bit, but
I
it's
always felt
kind of interesting.
We talk about like stories about isekais and a lot of things.
They're not in high school. I'm sold.
And then when you mentioned Berserk, I went, oh no.
I can see why we pulled it. Not just the setting, why we made the Berserk reference.
Yeah, we'll talk about it more when we decide.
Okay, I guess we'll have to stay tuned to see where that will fall in the rankings. I am kind of curious. That is quite the selection, sounds like you have this season, Frank. And I too have a bit of a collection, because my last anime is kind of like Frank's, definitely a lot heavier than the other two shows I've already just talked about. So my last show for the season is a title called The Summer Hikaru Died. That's over on Netflix only. It's exclusive there. It is based off a web manga, and it's brought to us by Cygames Pictures, which is the same people who are working on the Umamusume game. So
and the horsies.
But let me tell you, this could be not further from cute horse girls or idol girls or anything like that.
Idol horse girls.
Yeah. So this one is it starts off of like, you don't know what's really happening, instead of some kids getting chased and something about he's like stuck in the woods in the middle of the night, people are chasing him, something supernatural's happening, and it's all just jumbled cuts, and you're trying to figure out what's going on. And next thing you know, apparently it's been like 3 or 6 months since that fateful night. This is going to be like an ongoing thing. And that one kid seems to be okay. I guess somehow he survived whatever happened on that crazy mountain that one crazy night a few months ago. But the first character you really meet, and really is the protagonist here in this series, his name is Yoshiki. And his best friend, who's the character you see in the opening shot, is named Hikaru. And Yoshiki has been, he looks like he hasn't had a very good night's sleep in a while. And he's talking to his best friend, Hikaru. They've known each other for a long time. They've been childhood friends. They're very close, let's say, and I'll get to that in a sec. And he finally asked this Hikaru guy, hey, what happened to the real Hikaru? Because you're a fake. What did you do to him? And to surprise, he goes, oh, how did you know? I thought I was doing a good impression of your friend. And so they're already off together, like, whoa, what's happening here? And that's a lot of this series. And it turns out, you find out that he's not lying, because the real Hikaru apparently did die that summer. And in place is this doppelganger monster sludge creature that can impersonate human beings. I guess it's a bit of a shapeshifter creature. And yeah, that's where the show starts off. And the creature, instead of instantly just killing the main protagonist, that's the series, right? Because you think big monster creatures like this, that's the first thing they're gonna do. But apparently this Hikaru decides to like, oh man, don't tell anyone, because I'd hate to kill you. And so that's the thing where the main protagonist is like thinking about like means to kill me. So like he doesn't want to kill me, like he's not going to kill me. And so a lot of it is just from the Yoshike's perspective and mind, thinking of like, who is this thing and what happened to my friend. And the creature kind of tells him, well, I didn't kill your friend, I just found him when he was about to die, and I kind of took over his body or his likeness, I guess. And very off the bat, it's very supernatural based and very heavy in that regards. So yes, the Yoshike's character is like, oh no, what do I do with this doppelganger? Is he gonna kill me? Is he gonna kill my friends? Am I okay with living with this fake? Am I mad at this fake? Am I happy with this fake because he's pretty close to my best friend, but I know he's not? But is it okay just to go la la la, plug my ears, and just, you know, pretend like nothing ever happened and we're all having a good time, enjoying our high school adventures together? And so he's constantly going back and forth on that fence. In the background, it implies like there are adults that you don't know, you don't know their stories or the connection to the overall story, 'cause it's a big mystery early on. But they kind of be like, hey, the thing in the mountains is gone. The thing in the mountain's gone. It's out to revenge. It's out for revenge. And there's this, I guess, secret agency that deals with the supernatural, kind of Men in Black, but very oddly kind of like, well, the visuals make me think of Chainsaw Man instantly in this anime. So it gives me, that because Chainsaw Man also deals with supernatural things going on. And so you get that, and so there's like a secret agent that deals with that, and they're kind of quietly moving about in the background as the adults are talking to themselves of like, oh no, the evil monster is unreleased. The incantation must have gone wrong. We have to fix this problem, right? Very secretive. It's very Higurashi when they cry. A little bit of summertime rendering in the early part of that show when you trying to figure out what the hell's really happening here. So yeah, you get a little bit of that. There's other supernatural beings that are kind of taking over. It's kind of like an island, middle of nowhere, Japan. Once again, very much when they cry kind of setting.
Yeah.
So you're in the boonies, no cities, but it's still modern time. But like there's other creatures that show up and try to like attack Yoshike, but then the doppelganger shows up and kind of saves him. So you're kind of like, is this guy my friend or my enemy? I don't know. They're back and forth with this frenemy business. Apparently there's this one girl, she's not a girl, she's a middle-aged woman, I guess at this point, who she kind of just knows things, but they don't explain how she knows things. And she goes to Yoshike like, you met a terrible monster, haven't you? You got to stay away from that monster. If you hang out with him, it's going to eat you up too. And so he's back and forth like, ooh, do I talk to this strange middle-aged woman? She seems to know things I don't understand. Do I accept this fake as my real friend? And, once again, close my ears. And so, yeah, it's a mystery. It's a big mystery to see what's happening, who's good, who's bad, very much in the gray. The other thing that's very obvious about the show is all of this mumbo jumbo supernatural stuff is really just seems like a disguise to hide the fact that these two are pretty much gay for each other. And they, in a weird, because like there's a scene where because like I said, it's like a sludge monster that can like transform, and it's a big massive thing. For a second, almost attempts to kill the protagonist. And of course the guy goes, oh, he was inside me. He was inside me. And it's like, oh boy, here we go. So it's like innuendos much. And there's a lot of scenes like that where it seems very obvious that he always had a crush on his best friend because they've known each other. They've been inseparable ever since they were kids. But of course, ever just being like, hey, we're just regular people, quotation marks. So, they're not really gay because, I'm not, you can't be really gay in Japan. You're a monster being that might be gay, right? There's always an asterisk because you can't just be gay because that just doesn't make any sense. So they have to come with all this mumble jumble to justify the gayness. So that's a bit of an eye roller throughout this series. As a guy who likes supernatural, I am curious. Mystery sucker too. Yu Hustle checks that box as well. But yeah, it's a lot of the, like I said, all the disguising of just talking about gays. I found sometimes too much of an eye roll and just kind of like get with the times already, please. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. All right.
So you don't like that they're like trying to
cover it up.
Okay, not okay.
No, I don't care that they're gay. I'm sure by all means. You do what you want, man. If no one's getting hurt and everyone's happy, but yeah, just the fact that they try to disguise it, and so yeah, we'll see. The mystery part is kind of interesting, but the problem is, I think so far they're kind of like leaving a little too many clues. But maybe my detective brain's just going in over.
Usually you do when these type of shows.
Well, when they tell me it's a mystery, and they almost feels like they're pushing me. I dare you to solve it. I was like, all right, motherfucker, bring it on. It almost feels like a challenge sometimes, and so I already have a pretty good idea what's happening going on here. And I guess if without getting into details, if you've seen Summertime Rendering, it sure seems like there's a lot of that show in this show, minus the time travel mechanics. Not yet, which honestly, and that's the thing, is like I swear they're gonna bring up other shows I've mentioned. They have similar things going on with that story, but that is the summer Hikaru died. I am slightly curious, but am I curious enough to get the pass? We're about to find out in a little bit. But before we figure out what show I will pass, we're going to go around, gentlemen, and now announce our least favorite show of our summer season preview, and then we'll announce our winners and second placers at the very end, obviously. Alrighty, Miles, why don't you kick us off with your least favorite show of the season?
My least favorite show would be Ruri Rocks. Reason being, because it can be a lot of information that, unless you really enjoy science or mineral, or you like to learn more about rocks and minerals.
You like rocks.
It could bore you because that's like for every moment it tries to entice you, I guess, with question modes. They talk about a lot of science stuff, and unless you like science, there's really nothing here for that. But there's a lot of pre-animation though.
But you like Dr. Stone, don't you?
A lot of pretty assets.
Yeah,
that too. Wink, wink.
Yeah. But I enjoy the show, but I don't know if I could put you guys there because it is a lot of like how minerals are formed and how certain things that actually
Frank likes Dr. Stone. I think you need to be honest, Miles. You need to be honest with yourself.
Anyway, I just know it's enough to go because I really can't stand the high school the Rui's character that much because she complains about everything all the time.
I mean, she is a child. That is
Yeah,
what
but
children do.
if it was like a middle schooler, maybe it makes sense, right? But she was in high school. No, I'm moving this out, I guess.
All right, well, there you go. There's your third place winner for Miles. Frank.
Ooh, I was not remembering we did this like this.
Oh, that's how we do this show.
Okay, so this was tough because I went back and forth between all three, and I kind of flipped a coin. So basically, Gachiakuta is gonna be my third place.
Okay.
It's got a lot of stuff going for it. The big budget,
the trash one, right?
The trash one.
Got it.
Not the trash.
You have a lot of weird names this season.
Trash themed anime, not trash anime.
Yeah. Miles already went.
I don't know. I may be making a mistake. I feel like but
I made a huge mistake.
I'm watching that right now.
There you go.
It's just I'm a little bit afraid it'll be another Sakamoto Days. Because Sakamoto Days gave me the same vibe, like, the organization of assassins. You all have your own special assassin quirk. So, but it does look cool. I feel like they tried a lot, and that means a lot to me. Like, I was talking to Ivan a lot, and I'm like, a lot of times I feel like it's not what it is. It's how they present it. Because I was thinking with Simon, like, this would be like if they just reworked some nice background music, the better camera angles. I would be into it. Like, focus on the right things. So that's the kind of stuff that I feel is going for it. It is doing a lot of stuff right with the fights. They look pretty, even though I'm kind of numb to all the big spectacle stuff.
Yeah, that's the problem after a while.
So I'm a little afraid that I'm picking it third, but I'm taking a gamble that we, at least me, I won't enjoy it as much because there's just so much like it.
I can see that. Makes sense.
So I'll watch it and let you know if I made a mistake.
There you go. You'll let us know, Frank. You'll let us know. Not the fans, the listeners will let us know, Frank. And then we'll tell you what a fool you are. All right. And then people can leave an extra comma for me and tell me what a fool I am. Because out of my three shows, I'll be passing the most popular show according to the Mao website out there. And I will not be passing The Summer Hikaru Died.
Wow. I'm surprised.
Yeah, it's one of those. The problem is, like, I like When They Cry. Great anime. They kind of fell off the boat after season 2 because they kept coming back to it and more money. Summertime Rendering. Love the beginning of Summertime Rendering. By the halfway point in the end, I was too busy laughing more than being on the edge of my chair.
Or too busy watching the spectacle the whole time thing at that point.
So that's the thing, is it gave me vibes of other shows that I've liked, but I've known have just fallen off a cliff. And I just can't see the show. Like, maybe I could be wrong, but the few times I've seen similar shows with similar premises, they have yet to really stick the landing in a while. Like I said, the last one was When They Cry, and that was almost 20 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, in my head. The original anime came out. And like I said, the whole cover-up talk of talking about gay boys and there's no way they could be really gay. One's a monster, so it's not really gay. It's just like
doesn't count.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm just so tired of it. And I feel like there was something we talked about either last season or season before where they also did something like that where it's like, well, they're kind of gay, but not really because asterisk. I was just like, I'm just sick of these asterisks.
Was it your anime, the Kulong one?
Yes, that's what it was. The Kulong with the one character who...
And not gay because he has both genitals.
Exactly. That was the cover-up. Exactly. So yes, that's what it was, Frank. Good. So yeah, that's the thing. Maybe if it wasn't for Kulong and generic romance, maybe I would have been a little bit more gambling, but I can't take that right. I can't take that right this season. I'm gonna take that right. So I'm going to go for something maybe a little simpler and something up my alley. So you have to stay tuned for a sec to figure out which one it is. But now we're going to find what Miles is officially going to pick and get the pass the full review. And of course, his last remaining will sadly take home the silver, which gets nothing.
I actually thought you were going to pick that one.
Surprise, surprise.
I guess my number one would be let's see you again at the food court.
Thank God. Fucking thank God.
Yeah, because I feel look reaction because every time I mention poor Bochi, you flip your lid. And then also the only payoff you got to see how the story turns out. Like, you need more episodes to figure that out, right? And I don't know if it's enough. Like you mentioned earlier about gambling. Do you want to gamble that? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy it, but that's me, and we'll move on from that one.
It'd be a struggle for me.
But as we know from the past few times, usually when the funny one I choose is always one that probably wins at the end. So I'm gonna go with the heavy hitter, my bread and butter, funny little comedy bits.
All right, so look forward to that one in the future. So Frank, that leaves you. What is number one taking home the gold for you?
I really went back and forth between all three. Good golly. I want to say some few good things about both of them.
Alrighty.
Clevatess, I'm enjoying the story.
Right.
But then the animation leaves me wondering, like,
which is a surprise because Frank usually doesn't make comments on animation.
It's just so
choppy.
Like, because you see, like, these, I guess they were like the best of the best, and like get beat like nothing. The fighting seems like the fighting in Naruto fillers. Like,
ooh.
So it's like, if you're gonna watch this, it's not for the fighting.
This is not the good. You can skip this episode.
It's not for the pretty, $100 million budget.
Sasuke in here. Keep going.
So that's that. But I'm enjoying the story and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The other side, the water magician, the story's not. I don't know where it's going. Like, it's just let's take a stroll. Me and my bro.
Right, me and my bro. My new swordsman best bud.
The animation is much better. Freyrin calmness vibe. I think they did it on purpose. I swear to God, they used the same font.
I would believe it. That show is very popular. I don't know why people would not try to steal from it.
So, and then just I like the main character, his personality, the bro. They kind of make a good team. And it has I hadn't mentioned it, but it has the best opening. And then you mentioned something like, "Oh, good opening." I'm like, "All right." And I decided water magician right there.
There you go.
And then I was talking about it here. And as I was explaining it, I kind of convinced myself to pick Clevatess.
Switcheroo.
Yeah, so I was like, wait, do I like this one more? Because I'm like, I just found myself like being more passionate about it.
Did sound, from what I could hear, I did sound that way, yes.
So I don't know if I'm making a mistake, because I was watching, I'm like, I'm enjoying this one more. And then talking about it, I'm like, why am I praising the one I didn't like?
Wait a minute.
What's going on?
That being said, we'll watch the rest of the show. Let you full review later
This
on.
is my Final Fantasy 16 pick.
Here we go again.
I'm just gonna go with it. I'm just gonna go with Clevatess. The story seems more unique. And to be fair, I thought this was gonna be my third pick. But at one point, after seeing that animation, so I don't know if I'm making a mistake. I could be the Arrested Development. I made a huge mistake.
Huge mistake.
So that's it. I don't know how I feel about it, but that's what I'm going with.
That's what you're gonna go with. Alrighty then. So now it's up to me, and my favorite show of the preview part of the podcast of the summer season 2025. This one I have been going back and forth on, trying to think, and kind of like Frank, I've been swaying back and forth. Do I go for the more comedy one with the absurd comedy with the detective show? Or do I go for the more typical slow burn drama, nobility, romance setting show? And I originally, first I picked one show and then I swapped it. And now again, here at the last moment, and I'm swapping back to my first gut instinct.
We have the same problem.
And so my first place winner, and one that will begin a full review later on, is Betrothed to My Sister's Ex.
Yeah.
So the biggest reason I ended up going with that show
Tell them about it.
is I'm going with my gut instinct, because when I saw the show, I'm tall redheads. What's another show we covered on the podcast history that involved tall redheads? That was an unknown show. A lot of people kind of underlooked it and became one of my favorite things of the year, despite it also had not great animation. This show being called Why Reliana Moved or Lived in the Duke's Mansion, something of the sort. And that was a show that Frank picked, and I saw that show too, because that was the time we were still looking. We all didn't know what the format was, the podcast, so I ended up watching that first episode. I was like, ooh, and I was like, damn, too bad. I didn't. If I chose this, I would have passed it. But I was like, Frank's not gonna pass it. He's gonna pick like the prettier looking action show of the season. But so to surprise, Frank did pick that show, and that's what I'm getting in this show as well. Is it's a bit of more drama. It's about the people, the setting. It's very telenovela drama. For maybe not kind of forbidden, not the cheesy kind of bad Japanese forbidden love, but more the fact that they're both oddballs and somehow they came by pure chance. It has that very Shakespearean, once-in-a-lifetime romance vibes. It also gave me a lot of thoughts and feelings of his and her circumstances, if you're familiar with that anime. Because also in that show, you see both perspectives of the main leads and reasons why, their personal life and their history and why they end up kind of like falling for each other in their own way. And so you definitely get that, check that box. And it's been a long time, once I think I talked about in the preview, where I felt like I've seen a show where it makes sense why these two fell in love with each other versus like, oh, he's cute because he's tall and handsome and she's got blonde hair. She's just my type, right? It's more than just the opposite, the physical appearance. And also he looks very much like a 90s pretty boy that maybe could ride a Gundam. The prince, because he has very long bangs and like half of it's covering eyes, and I'm just like, I feel like some 90s anime shows right now.
Yeah, just communication playing.
And yeah, so he's got like the dark skin, he's got like the uniform, which makes me kind of think of Gundam, right? Because they're always wearing like military uniforms.
Does he also want to kill himself?
No, not yet. He wants to live because he wants to marry that pretty redhead. So yeah, that was my first choice. The detective show, like I said, it kind of made me laugh, but I'm just scared we're going back to episode 1 where it's just like, oh, now she's running around in a bikini. Isn't that funny? So yeah, it was absurd, but I wanted yet more absurd. I want fully coolie levels of absurdity.
You want like Chef comedy style, like we're going beyond balls of the walls.
Yes.
But not like the classic boob joke. It's pretty...
Yeah, because like I said, it's wacky, but I want crazy wacky, and it just missed the mark. But maybe it would have got past. I was hesitant because once again they did Yamada-kun and Insomniacs, which I have enjoyed. But this time I'm going to follow that first gutting stick on the podcast and stick with my tall redheads. And so that's why Betrothed to My Sister's Ex is Gain the Pass. And I like to fake out the name because I feel like it's a way to trick the people like, oh, you people like these stupid, cheesy shows. Well, it's not really like that, is it? Because he mixed up the names, and that's the only reason the tied for this name. You fools, now you're here for the good story. Damn it.
I like how the fact that if her sister died. Her sister died, though.
Yeah, that does happen. It is very, like, sudden, and there's...
more for, like, 5 seconds.
The sad thing, surprisingly, she had a good relationship with her sister.
No.
But, like, there's, like, one scene to prove that. And then she's dead the next scene. So it's hard to get too emotionally attached on that. So, yeah, that bit canon a little bit without saying too much more in that regards. But, yes, so that is getting my pass this season. So, once again, let's wrap it up here and remind everyone. So, Miles, we have...
See you tomorrow at the food court.
I'll see you. I'll get the Kentucky Fried Chicken. And then we have Frank's...
Clevatess.
We'll have to figure out between now and then what the heck it's officially called. And my Betrothed to My Sister's Ex all gain a...
I like how mine seems more normal for everybody's right now. Just out the boat.
Yeah, yours is definitely the most slice of life, down to earth. Slight shenanigans. Mine's dramatic. It feels romance. And Frank, I don't know where we're gonna go. Deep, heavy, dark fantasy. It sounds like.
See, the guy gets an armor, and the armor eats himself alive.
That might be also humorous at times, depending if people keep dying casually and just reviving on the spot.
No, it's not funny at all.
Okay.
It's not funny.
See, that's the problem because my brain's like, so it's like Konosuba or something. My brain's trying to justify it, but like, it can't be dark and heavy like Berserk because no one does dark and heavy stuff like that anymore. So I guess we'll see. I am curious. It's been a while. Oh man, that was one interesting spoiler discussion these guys just had.
Well, there was a way for everyone to listen to our thoughts throughout the week.
Well, you're just in luck, Commercial Mouse. It just so happens we're on all the major social media networks out there.
Yeah, like through our posts on Blue Sky or pictures on Instagram. You'll find all the things that we do outside the podcast.
Wait. We do things outside the podcast?
Well, it's not like we sit here for 2 weeks until the next podcast.
I do.
Why would you do that?
I don't want to miss out on another episode of Taco Otaku Podcast.
Also, just like the listeners, so let's get back to it.
All right, so there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to be our 3 big shows later on this season. But you never know. There's a good chance that another popularity show might show up. Like last episode of the podcast, we did go back and take a peek at My Hero's Academia Vigilantes and Lazarus, which did not make the official season list. But you never know. We might go back and we might check out some of those. A lot of season 2s also happening this season. Call the Night's happening, which definitely...
Wait, is that already passed by Rare already?
Well, that's
Anime of the Year. Wow, Anime of the Year already. Wow.
Well, it was last time I saw that show, which was last year.
And you didn't watch a single thing that's Anime of the Year, folks. Wow, look at that.
That's all I need to hear. So we'll see what happens there. But, good chance to come. Something we haven't talked about today will show up eventually in history here on the podcast. And yeah, we haven't decided yet our next topic for the next episode of the podcast.
Umamusume.
There's a good chance I might bring that up. I'm sure Miles will probably bring it up now because now he's gonna use me as his scapegoat. Well, my brother played it, so I was just curious what he was talking about. Not like I cared.
Yeah, and I didn't watch all the animes and know they
definitely don't have it downloaded on my phone ready to go right after the podcast.
That's also my you mentioned before about Scion Games, and have you seen clips that show like, wow, this show puts other shows to shame. And there's shots like Jujutsu Kaisen, right? And it's like crazy shots does, and this show blows that underwater.
Out of my way. Look out for my cute horse girls. So yes. So you have to stay tuned to figure out what the heck we're going to talk about. But I bet you it's going to be anime video game related because that's what we usually talk about here on the podcast. And so now we're going to come to the closing curtain act here of the podcast. And thank everyone who's been here this whole time. So Frank, thank you for sharing those 3 shows with us in the audience. And your quite busy week, it sounds like, last few weeks on the podcast.
Made a huge mistake.
That might be his catchphrase between now and the rest of the summertime. Yeah. Only time will tell.
Classic Job right there. Just oh boy,
we can relate. And of course, Miles, brother, as always, thank you for sharing your gacha stories and your shy girls that thankfully didn't get past.
Well, don't worry, I'll probably bring it because I'll probably still watch it because it's not as bad as Bochi is.
All right, well, that was Miles' final episode here on Taco Otaku. It was nice having you, brother. I'm glad you could hang out with as long as you can, but I know you got a bunch of other shows you want to watch, so just focus on that, brother, and don't share them, and don't tell me anything about them. And of course, the biggest thank you, of course, goes to you guys, our listeners, hanging out with us this whole time, talking about our anime, video games, our rants, our faves, our diss faves, and everything in between. Thanks so much for listening, and we hope you guys will tune in for the next episode. Until then, have a good one, people.